Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black. Wow. As you guys can see, if you can hear on the radio, I have a special guest with me here tonight. We're going to jump into that right away because Kate and I can actually talk for an hour and a half, nonstop, no commercial breaks, maybe just a sip of water. Everyone, please, if you are not familiar with who this woman is sitting over here to my right, this is the elected Marion County recorder for Marion County and essentially Indianapolis, the greater Indianapolis area, Kate Sweeney Bell, but also she was recently elected the Marion County Democratic chair for the Marion County Democrats. This woman is wearing a lot of hats, but she's involved and she is connected. And I'm telling you guys are in for a treat. If you remember last week, I told you, I knew that I needed to clean up my mouth a little bit before I ran for office. But when I met Kate Sweeney Bell, I was like, shoot, I'm good. There's nothing I got to worry about. But listen, I'm not going to take time tonight running my mouth and talking about, there's obviously a lot of stuff going on. We could talk about Gorsuch. We could talk about Russia because, it's still a mess up there. We could talk about what's going on at the State House with SB 309. I'm still not happy about that. But I really want you guys to get a chance to know who your Democrat Party chair is in Marion County. I want you to get a feel for what she does and who she is and why you may want to get involved. So, Kate, welcome to Turn Left. Thank you for being my very first guest.
Thank you, Dana. It's my honor. And hello, America.
I don't know about America yet, but we're working on it.
Absolutely. I'm sure.
So, Kate.
Hello, world.
Kate, for those folks who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of your history and your biography of who Kate is.
Well, like you said, I am the Marion County chair. And for some of you, some people who are listening or watching, you might not be Democrats. Or if you are a Democrat, maybe you converted after you came of age. For me, it's a little bit different. I was born a Democrat.
Okay.
My family I'm from Indianapolis. I went to school here.
What high school?
I went to Chatard.
Chatard, okay. North Central. Go ahead.
And I am also a Jaguar. Go
okay.
IUPUI.
Okay.
The my grandfather was a political person here in Indianapolis and the best person that I knew.
Okay.
And if I could spend time with my grandfather, it didn't matter what we were doing. It just so happened with his political activities, he would take me with him.
Oh.
So my first memory, and Dana knows this, but the rest of you might not, is actually a smoke-filled room. I was sitting on somebody's shoulders, and there were people with boater hats with the red, white, and blue stripe. And some of you may not remember this, but those who are of a certain age will. Marion County used to have these green voting machines, and you would go in
those.
And you would pull a lever, a curtain
would come back. Yep.
And then if you were a good Democrat, you just click one thing, push the lever back, and walk out. So I remember seeing those. That's my absolute first memory.
Oh my goodness! So you have been in the mix from the very beginning, and you come from a union family too? No, not a union family.
No, but I know the value and importance of organized labor.
For some reason, I thought you were. My bad. Maybe it's because we're always around at organized labor events, and I thought it was just in your blood, actually.
Well, I am a proud associate member of the Steelworkers Local 1999.
There we go. I knew there was something in there. So you're sitting on your grandfather's shoulders in the smoke-filled room. Thank goodness we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, times change.
What did those experiences, how did they shape you?
Well, in my family, we talked about politics.
Okay.
And we talked about how important politics are, how they touch every single part of your life. And we just talked about that.
We did.
From the air you breathe, to the water you drink, to the taxes you pay, everything. And it was government to our family. We understood the importance of it.
Okay. So you were in it from a young person. When did you actually okay, I'm going to sign my name to a card and I'm going to interject myself into the party, not just being a granddaughter?
Well, I was 18 years old.
18.
And I went to the Marion County Democratic Party, and I got a job.
Doing what?
I answered the phones. I talked to people. I became a deputy registrar. It used to be registering used to be a lot harder than it is now. It still could be easier, but it used to be you had to get a number assigned to you by the Secretary of State, and you were a deputy registrar.
Okay.
So you'd fill in this number on every voter registration
that you turned in. So how did you enjoy making those phone calls?
Well, a lot of it was actually door to door.
Okay, you did more door to door then.
Yeah, it was, and the data that's available now. If you were to go back in time, you would probably be horrified. Somebody with the technical expertise that you have.
No, stop. I don't know
true.
about that. I just know how to find smart people.
Yeah, where do you work?
I know how to find the smart people. I know how to, navigate. You got a question? Okay, let me go get somebody and get the answer. And when I bring it back to you, you can understand it.
America, Dana's being modest.
No.
She is an IT professional.
But see, I look at IT and politics in very much the same way, in that, IT has its own language, right? And
absolutely.
So when you talk IT to a finance person, because they got to fund it, you have to make sure that you can translate it. So when you take policy, that if you look at a bill in the state house or an ordinance that the city county is implementing, it can be full of a lot of legalese that the layman may not be able to get. And so as a communicator and somebody that's working in politics, I feel like it's our responsibility to make sure that people can understand what that stuff means. And so when did you first decide to run for office? Because, see, you're an elected official. That, to me, before we even go there, I got to say, Marion County is like, you could say we're like the model county for getting women elected to county seats. I mean, you think about that we're 50% of the population, but we're only 20% in our state house. In Marion County, Mila Eldridge, African-American female, is our clerk. Claudia Fuentes, a Latina female, is our treasurer. We have Julie Voorhees and Deb Jenkins, and I know I'm forgetting somebody, but then we got UK Sweeney Bell as the recorder. All of these women in Marion County are getting elected. What made you run for office?
Because I know how important it is, and that I had a chance to make a difference. Marion County Recorder's Office, well, it is, we are the wheels that keep the economy rolling.
Well, tell us about the office and what you do.
We keep land records.
Okay.
And I was talking to somebody earlier today. We also accept forms that are called DD-214s. If you're in the military, you know that if you ever get out of the military, you know that a DD-214 is a discharge paper from the military. So veterans can come file those for free of charge.
Wow, that's cool.
And that is by state statute.
Okay. And so when you decided to run for office the first time, is this your first office that you ran for?
Absolutely not.
Well, what's the first office you ran for?
Precinct committee person.
Okay. I'll be doing that for the first time next year. I've been appointed a precinct committee person this year, but I'm going to run in for Lawrence 14, because there are Democrats in Lawrence Township. I want y'all to know that we're there. So when you ran for precinct committee person, did you get an adrenaline rush? What happened?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't like to say it's nerdy, but it's nerdy. I did. I loved it. It was, I sent out letters.
Okay.
And I stood outside at the precinct, and I passed out information saying, please vote for me. And I think I won by a whopping 6 votes.
Wow. So every vote counts. Every time, every vote counts. So when you decided to run for a countywide seat, now you're talking, close to 900,000 people.
903,000.
Yeah. But, and then of those, the 18-year-olds that can vote, blah blah blah. That's even bigger than people don't realize. County seats are bigger than even state rep seats. There are more voters to consider at the county level in Indianapolis and in Marion County than the seat that I ran for last year. I think I had to deal with maybe 60,000 votes. You had to worry about conjuring up at least 600,000 votes. Tell us about that experience.
It was daunting. Anytime you put your name out to run for something, you will have detractors, you will have critics, you will also have supporters, and that's what you have to remember. It was actually it was Andre Carson,
I do.
our congressman.
I do. Your
The
congressman.
oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe you could move so he could represent you too.
Yeah, I got that. I got Susan Brooks. Unfortunately, I keep telling people I live in purgatory. They don't seem to understand. I live in purgatory with Jim Merritt, Brian Bosma, Susan Brooks, and even Mike McClellan on the city county council.
Well, Jim Merritt is my counterpart on the Republican side.
Oh, okay.
He's just been elected as Republican county chair.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's interesting.
News you can use.
Yeah, news y'all can use. Jim Merritt, because he votes on bills that we may or may not like, and now that you know that he's the chair, he's driving some of that. So go back to your campaign.
So Congressman Carson. Well, let me go back a little bit.
Okay, tell the story.
I was going to run for Center Township Assessor many years ago.
Okay.
The man who was there, Jim Maley, a saint, and one of the funniest people I have ever encountered.
Okay.
He could tell a joke and spin a yarn like nobody's business. But Jim Maley, rather, he was retiring, and this was right after the property tax debacle happened, where my own property taxes for our home more than quadrupled.
Okay.
And
this was under the Bart Peterson admin, wasn't it?
Yes,
okay.
This was there was a lawsuit. Just to give a little bit of history, there was a lawsuit that was filed, and the Supreme Court determined that the way property taxes were collected was unconstitutional. So the whole system was redone, and in doing that, if you lived in an older home, your home hadn't been assessed according to them properly for many years. So in order to pay our fair share, ours quadrupled. And it was tough for me. And what I thought about was there are people who have lived in their homes for decades, and they're going to lose their house because they can't pay their taxes. And that wasn't right, and I wanted to do something about it. Okay. So I went and talked to some political people and told them what I wanted to do. I went and got certified as an assessor.
Oh, okay.
I took the class learned how to. Well, I thought you better know the job before you.
You probably should have gave Donald Trump some advice.
Oh well,
you know, know the job.
I don't think he wanted
that you're
to listen
applying
to me.
for.
So I was going to. I was running for that, and then somebody else decided to run, and the political winds shifted.
Okay.
So I did. I went. I ran in the primary, and I lost. I went down in flames.
Okay. Okay.
But I didn't go away because I am a Democrat, win or lose, rain or shine.
So and that's the thing. You know, first you don't succeed. You know, you keep trying. Right? You didn't give up. You didn't put your head in the sand. You didn't say, "Oh my God, I pushed the button. It didn't work."
Held my shoulders back,
and
held my head up, and people would thought, "Who does she think she
is?" Oh wow!
And
I can't tell you how many times I get that.
Yeah. I'm a Democrat, and even though I was not the party's choice, the party is still my choice.
Right.
Because it's the right choice for working men and women, for families, for organized labor, for the poorest among us. Democrats care about people.
Big tent, baby. Big tent. We are the big tent party. And you can always, if you're ever not sure, just watch the conventions. The conventions tell you all you need to know. One, and I've said it before, is a bowl of vanilla ice cream. And I'm even going to call it vanilla bean, because every now and then you'll see a little speck, and I don't mean no disrespect. Don't y'all come for me telling me I'm calling people specks. Don't come for me. But, it's a bowl of vanilla ice cream. Whereas, the Democratic convention is Neapolitan, baby, with sprinkles. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's Neapolitan with sprinkles. So, all right, so you lost your first race.
I did. I went down in flames, and I kept at it. I kept talking to Democrats and going to meetings, and then I ran into Congressman Carson at an event, and he said, "Hey, I need you to call me." All right, Congressman says call, you call. So I called him the next work day. Mm-hmm. I called his office because, America, I did not have his telephone number. And
you don't? I don't speak
now. Well, that was then. So I called and they said, "Well, what do you need?" I said, "Well, I don't need anything." He asked me to call And I didn't hear back and didn't think a lot of it. So a few days later, or maybe the next week, I ran into somebody who works in his office who apparently found out that I had called. She said, well, Kate, what did you need? I said, or she asked if I had talked to him. I said, no. What did you need? I said, I didn't need anything. He asked me to call him. So then on my way back to work from this meeting, I get a call from a scheduler who said, well, what did you need? I started laughing. I said, well, I didn't need anything. He asked me to call him. So she said, are you available this afternoon? I made time. Okay. And then that afternoon, the phone rings, and he and I were making some jokes back and forth. And being that there might be children listening, I won't tell you exactly what I said, but he also asked, well, Kate, what did you need? And I laughed, and I said, well, you told me to call you. I didn't know if you wanted to tell me. There are so many things I can't say on the radio. Suffice it to say that I said, well, and I didn't know if you wanted to tell me to run for office, was the last thing I said. Okay. And he stopped me. And he said, that's a great idea. Okay. And at that point, I knew that at least in his mind's eye, or I felt that my previous transgression for running in the primary against somebody that the party supported but did not support me had been forgiven.
Okay. I almost want to touch on that a little bit in this forgiveness part, because I know, like, I refuse to rehash the Bernie Hillary debate. I'm not going there, but I think sometimes people get caught up in their feelings on the party did or did not support, or they weren't seeing me as viable. And there could be, they may have done some polling. They may have, we don't know. We don't know where they came to their conclusion. But when you realize that you're not running for self and you're running for community, it really doesn't matter. I will never forget, when I started telling people in 2015 that I'm going to run against who, you know how many people looked at me crazy. And you probably heard some things that I didn't hear about. Who the heck is this chick? But when it's in your heart to do the right thing about people, it doesn't matter. So it didn't work out for you the first time. When did you decide to run for recorder? How did you? Okay, so you had the conversation with Andre, because
excuse me, to me, Congressman Carson, always.
Oh, right, yeah, my bad. Because I feel like we've done, some hip hop duets at his party, but I had the same interaction with Congress. I met him at your fundraiser. It was like one of the first events I started showing up at. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to this event. Sweeney Bells, she's having a fundraiser. Congressman Carson was there, and I was literally just kind of standing back, out of the way. I was, because I didn't know anybody. I was literally, this was like 2014.
We had Dana and I. She didn't say this, but we had gone door to door for some candidates.
Yeah, but this was 2014 before this was the.
That's how we met. Going door to door, and then you
right.
Okay.
So that's how I showed up, and so Congressman Carson, he saw me just standing there, and he's like, "Are you running for office?" I was like, "Well,
see,
I'm telling you, yes, that's what he does. It's almost like he's the candidate. What do you call it?
Whisperer."
And he can see it. So, all right. So you had this conversation with Congressman Carson. You checking me, and I appreciate that. Did you guys discuss what seat to run for?
No. It's he maybe, I don't even know if he realizes the depth of his influence on me.
Okay.
He is what I think so many people ascribe to be, because he does what he feels is right.
Okay.
And that is a leader. He is a leader.
Yeah. And sometimes it may be in conflict with him. Right. But he's standing.
So,
but you stay. But that's it, though. You have to stand with it. All right. So you.
The woman who was the current recorder was she's term limited. It's a recorder is a constitutional office,
all right,
and therefore limited to 2 terms.
Okay.
So she was going to run for something else, and I thought, well, this is
opportunity.
This is an opportunity for me to serve the community, to do my best and work for the people. What an honor! It is. It is. There is not. maybe there are some people in office who are there for what I would consider the wrong reasons, for power or glory.
Yeah.
Which in public service, that was not the reason for me to do it. It was an opportunity to be a public servant, which is a phenomenal honor.
All right. And so the night that you won.
Well, that's kind of a funny story. The night that I won, and if you understand the demographics and the politics behind the party in Marion County, it was expected. But still, if you're a candidate, you know this.
Yes.
You just, it's so nerve-wracking.
It is.
And
exciting all at the same time.
It's exciting. It's fantastic. And
seeing your name scroll across the television. I had my daughter, my wife's daughter, literally was like, the kids were, Dana, Auntie Dana's on the TV. Her name is, not me, just the name, but yeah, I got you.
So we were in a hotel. All the people, Democrats, had gathered in this one hotel, and they take you back through the kind of the inner workings of the hotel so you can
get out on stage.
Get out on the stage. And while I was back in the on my way out, I think I was smiling so hard, or I did something. I bit through my tongue.
Go ahead. You bit through your tongue.
I bit through my tongue. So I'm walking, and it's crazy. It hurts like crazy. But I don't care. I can't get this. I hope there was not blood on my teeth. I didn't even think to look at any of the pictures. But I've got. It's just stupid stuff happens.
Right, because unexpected.
And I am not the kind of person who worries as a rule. And when I'm happy, I don't mind showing it. And right. I mean, I could not get the cheesy smile off of my face. And I look out on the crowd, and all these people who were there, they were a part of that victory.
Absolutely. You don't win alone.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely
not.
You don't win alone. You can't win alone. It takes a whole host of volunteers giving up their time to make phone calls, to knock on doors, to host fundraisers, to donate $5. But when you win, we win.
And it is a huge responsibility to be elected to an office, and whatever office it is.
So now you're in your second term, right?
Nope, first term.
This is still the first. So you mean to tell me I was a door knocker for your first election?
Absolutely.
I did not know that. I feel strong today. That's what's up. That even makes it more exciting. I played a little bit of role in helping someone get elected. That's awesome.
Well, and America, I don't know if you know, but the recorder's office, though vital, a lot of people in Indianapolis think we're the newspaper.
Well, there's that. There's the Indianapolis Recorder. Yes.
What do you do? What do you do?
What do you do?
Basically, we keep land records.
Okay.
Forever.
So as you were saying earlier, when what is it, the DD-214, if they come down and file it there, it'll be there forever.
It'll be there forever. Although all of our records are public, except for those.
Okay.
But the families and the veteran services organizations can come and get those records.
Okay.
We even have some original records that we are trying to find the owners of or the families of, so we can give them back.
Okay. And I also know that from inside, I know that you guys are working to improve your processes. I know that you're working to improve how you do business in the recorder's office, but being very mindful of taxpayer dollars. I think that it is very important. We can't listen. Things can't stay on microfiche forever.
In the recorder's office, it's microfilm.
Yeah.
But no, we have digital copies of all of our records. We recently digitized over about 3.5 million records.
Wow.
So now we have to go back and index those. So make them easily searchable. You can search them still, but make them searchable for the general public is a daunting task, but it's job security.
Right.
We predict that it will take 42,000 working hours to do.
Wow. But all of this is to make life easier on the citizen.
Right. It's public service.
Absolutely. And so now, recorders, this is elected official. You've won your office. I'm seeing you every day. at the city county building. I get excited when I get to see elected officials. I'm a nerd like that. And then here you are now, the Marion County Democrat chair. Democrats in Marion County have had success. I just mentioned all the fantastic women that are holding office. And Mayor Hogsett is now a Democrat mayor. We got that seat back. You know, tell us what it feels like to now be party chair for this county.
I don't know if we actually have enough time.
We got plenty of time.
It runs the gamut. I don't know if you can see. I've got some.
You got some gray hair coming?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's a month old.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I've had mine since I was 14. Go ahead, it'll be all right.
It is an awesome honor and responsibility. Okay. For somebody who's born a Democrat, who has gone to Democrat events, who's worked for the party, who has knocked on doors and made phone calls and delivered lists and put signs out in the middle of the night and tried to run people down when you see them stealing one of your candidate signs.
And I can see you doing it, giving them a few choice words too. I mean,
well, there was kind of a big, tall median that my car couldn't go over, but
we need to get you a 4x4.
Yeah, well,
that's hilarious. I wish I could have been there that night for that
one. Yeah, those were actually Ed Mahern signs. He was running for state rep.
Okay.
And I thought I was waving to a friend, somebody else who was putting up signs, and then I'd see him yank it out of the ground. Well, it's Dana and I have this salty language thing that we do.
We do. We have it.
There were some words
directed
toward the criminal who's taking the sign.
Stealing.
That doesn't happen very often.
Stealing. So, tell us what Marion County Party does. A lot of people don't understand. So, there's a lot of noise at the top. There's a lot of noise coming down from the federal level. We cannot get away from all of that noise, right? And then people may be familiar with the state party. But tell us more about what the county party does.
Well, the county, I don't know how many of your listeners and viewers have heard of Tip O'Neill.
Yes, we have. I know I have.
Well, Tip O'Neill was Speaker of the House, and he was from Boston. And one of his famous lines is, "All politics is local." Those are the people who are closest to you, that you can interact with one-on-one more easily than you can with many state officials or federal officials, just because there are fewer people that one has to represent. The County Democratic Party is there to serve the Democrats in the party, as well as the elected officials and the candidates who are running for elected office.
And when you say support, what does that look like? What does that support look
like? Well, it takes on many forms. For the people of the party, the backbone or foundation of our party, the precinct committee people and vice committee people. Those are the people who you see passing literature out on rainy days, most election days seem to be rainy to me. In the dark of the morning, in the dark of the evening, they're the ones who go door to door in their neighborhood and knock on doors, and they know their voters and ask their voters. They remind them that election day is coming up. Please make sure you get out. And you're not feeling well, or you're over 65. Would you like to have an absentee application so you can vote by mail, or have a traveling board come to you?
Yes.
So that is the foundation of what the party does. It supports its precinct committee people and vice committee people. Their precinct committee people can either be appointed or elected. The election for precinct committee people is every 4 years, and it takes place next May.
Next May. And pretty much, depending on where you live, you can run for precinct committee. What are the rules to? I mean, are there any stipulations to be precinct?
Yeah, you got to be a Democrat.
Oh, okay, there it is.
If you don't have, if there's a kid who is 18 years old and doesn't have a voting history, they can receive a waiver from the county chair.
Okay, so
or somebody who has another kind of voting history. If your last vote wasn't in a primary, was not in a Democrat primary, you need permission in order to run.
Okay. I know from my experience that that don't have a lot of volunteers, right? You do the best you can. Those that help you, you're very grateful for. I know that the county party did a lot of coordinating and helping with that. Is that some of the plans for you guys moving forward too, to recruit some volunteers?
Oh yes, there are about 600 precincts in Marion County.
600. Say that again. I don't think people understand. So first of all, do we have a precinct committee person in all 600 of those seats?
We do not.
But
you can run.
You can run.
Now, if you have somebody there, you would want to talk to them before you run.
Exactly. But they also have vice.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
So if there's someone there and they're holding down and you still want to be involved like that, you can run for vice.
If a woman is the precinct committee person, then a man has to be the vice. Okay. And vice versa.
You mean equality?
Equality.
Sharing of the load?
That's
that
right.
Is definitely a Democrat philosophy.
Them's the rules.
Them's the rules. But those are great rules. Those are great. For example, tell us about who makes up your team at the county party. Who else is on your staff?
Well, we have a central committee, and so I'm the chair. The vice chair is Stuart Mora. He is an organizer. He's with a union called Unite Here, Local 23. He's the president. And Stuart has taught people how to knock on doors, people who never before have done it, and to make phone calls. For John Gregg and Christina Hale, they made over 1,000 hours of phone calls.
Wow.
On their behalf. And then LaDonna Freeman.
We love LaDonna.
We love LaDonna.
We love LaDonna.
LaDonna Freeman is the secretary of the party, and Tony Duncan is the treasurer of the party.
So you have a staff. You have you guys come together with ideas and then decide on the direction that you want to go. Tell us, as the leader, you boss now, boss. Tell us a little bit about your vision. I mean, because obviously things get tweaked and people are going to bring you ideas that may change how you start out. But just give us a little bit of your vision.
Well, I have a lot of ideas.
Okay.
I have a whole lot of ideas.
All right.
And I have, but my ideas are not necessarily always the best.
Okay.
So I ask a lot of questions, and I ask for input from many of the people I encounter.
Okay.
And so one of the things that's very important to me is this election next year. 2018, Marion County is going to make the difference in Joe Donnelly's reelection.
Yes.
Joe Donnelly is our United States Senator, and he's up for reelection next year. And he is one of the top targeted races, we've been led to believe. And so the votes that come out of Marion County will help counter some of the votes that come from the other parts of our states.
Yeah. Because I even know, like, the Republicans have already snatched up a Joe Donnelly domain. They got a JoeDonnelly.com domain. So all the nefarious activities are already happening. Not that they don't have a right to go purchase it, but obviously if they're doing that, they're. So yes, I do believe that Joe Donnelly's seat is a hot one. And 2018 is not going to be kind. Buyer's remorse is set.
Let me tell you, the day after the election, I had to go to one of the hotels where the party was supposed to be, and there was not a party.
There was not. I was there.
Not a party.
I was there.
So, those of you who know me know, if I buy Diet Coke, I'm not just leaving it there. I'm going back to get it. So I go back to this hotel, and there are some despondent fellow Democrats there, and it was sad. But some people were, Kate, how are you? I put my shoulders back. I am determined.
Right. I was fired up.
This is not done. This is America is stronger than that, and the Democratic Party is not going to go fade away because this travesty has happened.
Yes.
And so 2018, the election for precinct committee people, we're going to focus this year on going door to door. That doesn't always happen with the fervor we expect this year. We are going to have training for people to know how they can get more involved in the party. We're going to have training for precinct committee people and vice committee people and those who want to become precinct committee people and vice committee people. Those are coming up starting later this month.
Okay, and so I'm glad that you're talking about this because we see a lot of energy since, November 9th, right? November 8th, there was no energy. November 9th, there was a lot of energy. And people are wanting to know what to do. How can I get involved? Getting involved in the county party is one way to utilize that energy.
And we want and need your help.
Yeah.
There are not everybody's legs work so well.
Exactly.
Right?
Right. Everybody's got a different ability.
But the people who are not able to go door to door can make phone calls. And people who are not so comfortable on the telephone can enter data. And or if you're not so great with a computer, you can help us come up with training materials that we're going to be passing out at these meetings. There's always something to do, and we want your help. We welcome your help.
Absolutely.
And we will teach you. If you just come into our office and say, hey, our office right now is at 155 East Market Street.
Okay.
We're up on the 4th floor.
Okay. So there's a space for people who are feeling like this past election was just devastating. There's a space for you, and you guys have an organization. You're already organized. You already have a plan on what to do with volunteers. It's not a what do you need me to do. You guys already have a plan.
We have the people who work in the office now. Our executive director is Peter Luster. Many of you probably know who that is. Peter Luster started his political career working for the Obama campaign.
Okay.
In 2000, he got done with school, and in Bloomington, he came up here for graduate school to Indianapolis and started working as an organizer, and it stuck. He never got that graduate degree. At least in life, he did.
He did, right.
He did.
Right.
And then there's Alex Totten, who is our political director. He comes to us from Andre Person's campaign.
Oh, you snatching people up?
Well, he's we do it the right way, but both of them have organizers' hearts.
Okay.
They understand the value of voter contact.
Okay.
And what I think voters realize now, or even people who didn't vote before, and I believe this to my core, that they actually matter. Yeah. And I think it's a revelation to some people, and they want an outlet. You were a part of the March for Women.
Yes, I was.
You were, a dynamic inspiration to us. And that kind of energy and the effort that people want to give, they just don't, not everybody knows how.
Right.
They can do that with the Marion County Democratic Party.
Because everybody has different skill sets, right?
Yes,
I tell people all the time, some people wanted, they reach out to me to do organizing and setting up whole organizations. That's not what you really want me to do. That's not my strong suit. My strong suit is passing on energy. My strong suit is getting people fired up and understanding that there is a place for them in this thing that we call the Democrat Party. Sometimes,
Hold on, interrupting you right here, right now, and everything technical.
I do all right. With the technology. I do all right. I know, but you know what? The good thing is I know what I don't know. Okay, you got to know what you don't know so that you can keep your mind open to learn. And so I tell people all the time I'm still in my rookie season of being in politics because I really just dipped my toes in it in 2014. We had our first cycle, so I'm still a rookie. And the idea that I'm sitting next to an elected official and we're having a conversation about what our county party is going to do is exciting to me because I'm learning. I'm learning how you see the vision. I'm learning how you see your organization. I'm learning how you see, the idea of helping the citizens. It amazes me sometimes how you and I echo each other. You guys don't know, when I get a chance, I go up in the recorder's office and I get a chance to sit down and we get to, we get to have those real conversations.
And Diet Coke.
I have water.
But we do we talk about what, I mean, it doesn't matter with Dana. When we're talking about the city county website, it's still exciting. It gets, I mean, here's what we could do, and what if we tried this, and what about this, and how about this, and
yeah, I do get a little excited about technology and politics are my thing, but it's just nice. Sometimes you just want to be around your like-mindedness because we live in we're in a blue bubble in a red state, and sometimes it's difficult, because you listen to all the noise is there, but just so people understand, they know my philosophy. Share your political philosophy of engagement. What does that look like for you?
It's kind of hard to say because I think that you include everybody. Simply, it's actually not hard to say. You include everybody. My mom used to, well, she probably still does. I do listen. Hi, Mom. Everybody has a story. Yeah. And when I was a kid, I didn't really believe it. But now I know that it's true. Yeah. I know that there are, some of them are sad, and some of them are inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are make you want to pull your hair out. But you can learn something from everybody. There are the county chairs who have come before me. I'm standing on their shoulders. They paved the way, and I'm grateful to them.
Right, because they created an opportunity. And so that to me is the key to it all. Is you pass down what you learn to pull up the next person. Humans are human, right? And this would not be a turn left show if I didn't talk about sometimes people need to get out of their own way, right? Some people need to get out of their own way and stop. Like if things didn't go a certain direction for you, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to start beating and bashing other people when the direction is working out for them. And if we would stop spending time, I had somebody ask me just the other day, what kind of Democrat I was.
How'd you answer?
Well, they gave me examples. They gave me examples. They said, "Are you a progressive? Are you a liberal? Are you an establishment? Are you?" And I'm like, you know what? I don't get caught up in all that. I'm a Democrat. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. And if I will say that I'm liberal and I'll say that I have progressive views, but you know what? I'm just a Democrat. So we may not. If you think about it, I'm probably diametrically opposed to, at the far end of the liberal spectrum than maybe a blue dog Democrat, right? They're a little bit more centrist than I am. But that doesn't mean that I don't see them as a Democrat, because I know that more than likely they're going to see things a little bit more my way than the dudes on the other side.
When you have a big tent, it's like a big family reunion. Sometimes
Absolutely.
There are going to be disagreements here and there. Absolutely. That's just part of it, but at the end of the day, you come together. Absolutely. And this is our family, our Democrat family.
And that's in my opinion, that is the greatest thing about it. So like, we're so different. We are so, we have so many different people in our tent. We're going to have dissension and we're going to have arguments, but guess what? If you agree with everything somebody is telling you, something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? How else are you going to learn if everybody is just like you? Republicans. How are you going to learn anything if everybody is falling in line and doing exactly what you say, the way you say? How do you learn anything? How do you progress as a society when everybody is thinking the same way? You might as well call it the board. I'm a turkey. So, the board is, assimilate. You got to, no, we want you in the.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Today, I got an email from somebody who wants to help how he can. He refers to himself as Data.
There you go. There you go.
Welcome, Data.
Welcome, Data. And we need all of that, because when you see legislation that comes from the federal level or from the state level, luckily our city county council is a little bit more balanced, because Marion County is the bomb I didn't even mention Maggie Lewis, who is the president, African American sister, who's the president of City County Council. And wait, I'm sorry, Zach Adamson, our LGBT Hispanic vice president. I'm telling you, Marion County is the truth. Y'all better recognize Naptown, Indiana. So I'm just saying.
Well, and the leader of the City County Council, the Democratic leader, is Monroe Gray.
Monroe Gray,
a retired firefighter. We have a group of individuals who is committed to bettering the city
and bettering the lives of the people that live in the city. It's not just about how much money we can make, how much, I need to make sure my coffers are full. And I get we all unfortunately have to have money to do what we got to do. Sometimes when we don't have enough of it, it makes life a whole lot harder. I get that. But to me, our government officials and the people that we elect should have, I'm gonna be honest, your mindset about helping people. When somebody calls into the recorder's office, I know you have a staff in there that are going to take care of those customers or those constituents.
No phone tree.
No phone tree.
Pet peeve. Hate it.
Wow.
When you call, you get a person.
That's what's
and
up.
You get a person who cares about you. That's just, and cares about what you're calling about. It's just like with the city. People can call the Mayor's Action Center.
Right.
And they're going to talk to somebody who's going to try to help solve their problem.
And that's it.
In Indianapolis, there was a $50 million structural deficit. That's a lot of money. $50 million.
Yeah.
Now the structural deficit part, I don't really know. I know deficit, that word, the structural deficit.
See, that's a whole other language. That's a different language.
It's like computer talk. But I do know that Mayor Hogsett, working with the city council and the other elected officials and agency heads, they were able to cut that in half in a year.
Wow.
That's impressive. Huge. And people are going to be critical no matter what of any elected official, and that is part of it. But let me tell you that the mayor today, I know that he is doing a bike ride for, I think, the public safety. There's a parade for the trifecta, Crispus Attucks, Ben Davis, and Tinley Academy, the three Indianapolis basketball teams, Marion County, that's right, who won their championship games.
Yes.
So there's a parade. Not only are those current students doing this parade right now, but also the 1955 Crispus Attucks class,
that is awesome,
who was denied a parade because the team was all black.
Indianapolis, it has gone through some transitions.
That's right.
And you got to grow, you got to change, and with a voice comes power. So the people, we're no longer relegated to certain areas of town anymore. I remember reading an article, understanding the history of Crispus Attucks, that people who lived way on the east side of town were being bused to the one African American school on the west side of town. Can you imagine? Sometimes they weren't even bused. How did a lot of they didn't have buses? We're talking early days when for some reason humans were afraid of other humans, and they didn't want their kids to go to school with other kids. And Indianapolis was one of those towns where no, we're not mixing and mingling. Can you imagine how much fortitude that students had to have to go from Arlington, Emerson, Shadeland, all the way over to Crispus Attucks? But they did it. Now, they did it. And so Indianapolis has changed. But that's because we had the voice has changed. And you demand change. I tell people all the time, we have the power.
Yes.
We have the power. We just have to use it. I tell women all the time. If we don't like what's coming out of our state house and our federal government when it comes to women's health, we have the power to change it. We don't have to sit around and let 80% of our elected officials who are men who may not understand some of the difficulties that it is, all the different moving parts that we have inside of our body, to dictate what we should do with it or how we should do it, or that it doesn't matter, it doesn't have value. We have the power. You are showing people that we have the power. Hey, Sweeney Bell, KSB. I get excited because if you're not looking at this woman right here and not feeling like there's an opportunity for me, people get caught up in the big stuff, right? They want to be, you know, president. They want to be vice president. They want to be, leaders. Blah, blah, blah. You are showing that you can impact the community and have influence in the community, no matter what role you take.
We are all part of this society, each and every one of us, whether you're a Democrat or not, whether you're a voter, whether you have, uh, a fat bank account or a mighty slim bank account.
Oh boy.
And you matter. You matter to the Democratic Party, and you matter to me. I have a lot of ideas. I have a whole lot of ideas on how to make things better. They're not necessarily the best ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to people. I'm sure people get sick of me asking them questions. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think about this? How about this? What about that? Because I want to gather as much information as possible before I make a decision.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll take a little bit of this and a big chunk of this decision and go on and to put forward what I feel is the best.
Because that's looking out for everybody.
Well, like I said, I have a lot of ideas, but I realize that they're not all the best ideas. And somebody who thinks, well, I think we see him on television just about every night, or hear him on the radio, or read his tweets. That's somebody who thinks there is the only idea. And I don't think that's the way to govern, and I don't think that's the way to lead.
And to me, that sounds like what a leader is. To me, that's leadership. That is understanding that you don't have all the answers, but you surround yourself with people who are as smart, if not smarter than you, to help, guide you. No one person knows everything. Okay, HB is giving me the sign. I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes to say whatever we want to say about what's going on in the political. Is there anything at the State House that you're watching?
Well, yes, there are some things that affect the recorder's office. I'll not go into that. One that is a little bit more controversial, and I don't know why, is Senate Bill 309.
Oh, 309.
You've probably heard Dana talk about that.
309, net metering. We don't want renewable energy in Indiana, apparently. $20,000 can write you a bill. I can buy you, give me 20 grand, I can get your bill through the state.
There are, and thankfully we have some jurists in the state who realize that discrimination is not the thing to do.
Yeah, I was sad that our bias crimes bills didn't go through. Mike Delph, that dude. I know you, as an elected official, you can't necessarily say the things I can say, not publicly. But Mike Delph, I'm working diligently to find somebody to run against him. I really am. We want to fill, because there were 25 seats that people ran unopposed in 2016. We don't want that. We want all these seats filled, whether we win or not. Doggone it, they need to hear our voices.
A Democrat on every ballot.
Up and down the ballot,
across the state,
92 counties.
In Indianapolis.
92 counties. That is the mission. That is a plan. Listen, I got to give a shout out to HB and Radio Next TV for offering us this opportunity to talk today. If you guys are not familiar, he has a whole lineup of shows that deal with, domestic violence, veterans issues, elderly issues. If you guys are not paying attention to what HB Jumbo Love is doing on Radio Next TV, you guys are missing out on all community all the time. He's given us a platform to talk about what's on the left side of things. That's why this show is called Turn Left. I have to thank you again, my very first guest on the radio show. I am super excited about it. Thank you for giving me your time. I know how busy you are, but I think the community really appreciate getting the chance to know you, understand what the role is that you are undertaking, because, time is money. And when you're giving up your time like that, that is very valuable to us, because we need that in the community. And I want to thank you for coming out and sharing your message, your philosophy, and how we can help you over at the county park.
Well, thank you, Dana. Thank you, Mr. Bell. And if you would like more information, please feel free to come to our office at 155 East Market, 4th floor. call us at 637-3366 or visit us online. It's MarionCountyDems.org.
All right. We have all that information. I'm always posting stuff, so look for different tags. I'm going to sign off because I'm going to do this the right way. I'm supposed to get off of here in 5 minutes. I'm going to do it. We're done. Thank you for tuning in. Turn left. We talk about things on the left side of things. I'm your host, Indiana's own, Dana Black. I'm off next week, but I'll see you on the 20th. And on the 20th, guess who we got?
John Zodi.
We got John Zodi, state party chair. So I'll see you guys on April the 20th. Talk to you guys later. Good night.
Good night, America.
Yeah, America.